What improved your life so much, you wished you did sooner? Stopped arguing with random strangers on internet. Sometimes I'll type out a comment for the catharsis and then just delete it and go on my way. Oh god, I do that all the time. Write out this well thought out reply back with evidence and whatever, then go, this idiot isn't even going to read half of this, and delete it and go on my day. Doing at least one chore a day. You would be amazed at how well getting something done, even if you hate it, can fight back against certain depressive mentalities, particularly the ones that convince you you're useless or are a burden. This is great advice. For me, a triple 30 worked wonders. Every day spend 30 minutes cleaning chores, 30 minutes exercise, and 30 minutes of self-improvement, which could be anything, for example practicing guitar. Get home from work, knock off the triple 30 in 1.5 hours, and oh man, the sloth after that feels so good and so earned. And what's 1.5 hours? Nothing. Highly recommend it. Edit. Not only does it annihilate your housework, its biggest effect on me was kicking the ass of my depression and anxiety. It's not gone, but so much more manageable. Edit 2. Thank you for the awards. I am absolutely delighted that this resonated with people. It made such a difference for me. Somehow I've never heard of this, but I think I'm going to start doing this. Thank you. If it helps at all, I use the 5-minute rule. If it can be done in less than 5 minutes, it is a requirement. Like wiping my counters down, clearing the coffee table, a couple jumping jacks, a short stint of yoga, a quick chapter in my current book, etc. It really helps me prioritize things, especially when I don't have the motivation that day. I will often find that I end up cleaning my entire kitchen, or finishing a book, or anything, but making it seem smaller helps me. I started viewing things as potential experiences rather than just opportunities for achievement. Before that, for example, if I took a class, then I was only focused on the grade. If I couldn't get a good grade, I didn't like the class. Heck, I wouldn't even start a book if I thought it might be too hard or too long and I might not finish it. Then I realized the purpose of classes, and books and other things, was to learn, and that hard ones were likely the ones I learned the most from. Even if I didn't get the best grade, I started doing all sorts of stuff with the idea that I just wanted the experience. Even if I was the worst one out there, who cares? I wasn't there for the achievement. I wanted to learn things. This works socially as well, and I started taking way more risks, telling myself that, at the very least, it would be a learning experience. I saw a saying once, it's only a failure if you stop trying. Otherwise, it's an experiment. I love it. A good quote goes something along the lines of, to be good at something you have to be brave enough to suck at it for a while. Not sure if that's something someone famous says, but it's what I tell young people, even old people. Moved away from the state I grew up in. I didn't know how unhappy I was. I had gotten used to being miserable, and now that I'm in a better area, I'm a completely different person. I did this but moved halfway around the world. It's amazing how much background stress is gone when I finally accepted that I was just not meant to be where I was. I miss my family, but we stay in regular contact, and I have a lovely found family here. Sometimes just up and getting out of a place that isn't for you is the best course of action. Learning to set boundaries and say no. It's so important to be able to do this, and while most people realize the benefits for yourself, it's so much nicer to have a partner you know will say no, and set boundaries. An ex of mine was really worried about messing things up and would rarely say no, or set boundaries, even though I was constantly pushing her to set them, and I had to be really slow and pay attention to her as she tried to hide any discomfort so I would know. It stemmed from her past and how she was taught to act growing up, but we were able to work on it and she was much better later on. While it's always important to watch out for your partner's reactions to make sure they're comfortable anyways, having someone who tells you when and when they don't feel comfortable makes a world of difference. All is to say, don't think it's selfish to say no and set boundaries. It's much better for everyone, especially yourself. Have a good day. Daily exercise. It doubled my energy for an hour out of my day. And that's just the benefit you get now. You have no idea the dividends you'll collect on that as you age. The key to aging gracefully is in staying active. I have worked with seniors for years in the capacity of wellness exercise, and you can absolutely pick the ones who are and have been consistently active out of the crowd, not just in exercise form but in all facets. Quitting smoking. Quitting drinking is the best thing I've ever done for my mental and physical health, and it's done nothing but improve my relationships. The last year and a half have been the best I've ever had. I feel the same way. I quit when I was 29 and my whole life changed for the better. I remember all my nights and celebrations. I no longer had to make a list of people to apologize to every morning after a get together or party 10 out of 10 would recommend. Not everyone can afford this, but moving closer to work. My commute went from 45 miserable minutes in traffic glaring in hatred at the tail lights in front of me to a pleasant 15-minute bike ride. I got an hour of free time every day and better health. Pandemic did me a solid on this one. Lost my job of 20 years due to it, 2 hours of commuting every day which had just risen to 3 hours. Took a year off, then found a perfect job round the corner from my house, 4 minutes walk. Absolute game changer. Took a 20% pay cut, but we sold my commuting car, and with the price of fuel what it is, we're actually considerably better off. The 3 hours saved commuting means extra time with my wife and kids. I'm very happy. I stopped living my life just waiting for the weekend. When you work 5 days a week and have just 2 off, it's not good to be always waiting for those 2 days. You can plan something meaningful or fun every day, even if it's just a small thing. Edit. Wow. Thanks for all the awards. I'm glad others have found this comment helpful. This is actually a life hack. Trust me, life is a marathon, not a sprint, and you must find a way to enjoy every day. At the end of the day, you should say it was a great day or day well spent. I had someone tell me, life is a marathon, not a sprint, but the better advice I got was, life is not a race at all. It's more like river rafting. And the point is that you're there with people you love spending time with, and you're enjoying your surroundings together. Of course there's rapids sometimes and still waters sometimes, and usually you know where you're going to end up. But it's about the experience, not the destination. Eating dinner or a late snack at work. Too often I would leave work hungry, and the temptation driving past Chick-fil-A or the corner taco shop was too much. I've kept my weight under control for a couple of years now, having dropped from the 220s to the 170s. I remember when I lost 10 pounds because my window motor broke in my car, and I couldn't go through the drive-thru anymore. Trying to be more positive in general. This is such a big one. Being negative is a bad habit like any other, easy to fall into, hard to break. People, including me, at one time, somehow think it makes them seem smarter, or deeper, or insulates them from disappointment, but it just makes you drag to be around. Being a cynic isn't sophisticated,